My name is Greg,
This is Glenn.
and we're here today to broadcast the fourth and final game between the Philadelphia Phoenix and the DC Breeze. This is a home game for the Breeze. Some keys to the game.
For the DC Breeze, we're going to have to see them
Really control a couple of the players on the Philadelphia Phoenix. The Phoenix, more so than any other team, have some top performers at the top of their roster. Mattis are not playing today, but guys like Zach Thurston, who's been big the last couple games, or David Brandoff or Kenny Wells are all going to be out there playing.
whereas the Philadelphia Phoenix have to maintain their composure and keep playing high percentage offense at the end of quarters like they have been doing all season. One of the best teams in the league for scoring at the end of quarters with only a little bit of time left. Our game already underway here as the Phoenix are working it around up the field against the DC Breeze defense.
So the video quality here is a little low today. I'm going to do my best to try to assign names to everything that's happening. There we see an early score by Anderson. I believe the put was by Forrester. Might not get all the names right, so my apologies goes out to both teams, spectators, parents, friends, family, cousins alike. That was a very quick point for the Phoenix O-line, and I think, again, we'll kind of need to see the Breeze contain them, slow them down, make them throw more than 3 or 4 passes if we're going to see a competitive game here today. Let's see how the DC O-line does in return. Biscuit picks up the disc, gives to Whitehat, and the same way, Whitehat puts off the big fly. Looks like TJ brings it in for a point, and same way, a very quick score.
On the other hand, that point was a little bit more sketchy for the DC Breeze offense. Hopefully they'll be able to get a couple more open shots, play a little safer here in the game, as Philly looked a little comfortable moving the disc in the last point.
So back to the Philly O-line here. Not more than 20 seconds into the game, I think. Brandoff with the disc on the sideline. And he puts off another big huck. And going deep. Looks like it might have been Greg Esser's hand the first on it.
Greg Esser there with a good D with the help of one of his teammates. It looked to me like Burke Nash. Jake picks it up, goes out wide to Greg. Greg looks back around Jake, and Jake's going to look to swing here. But he puts up a big huck instead and trying to attack the end zone, but looks like 2 Philly defenders are in the area, and they take it down easily.
And it looks like that was Ryan Forrester with the D. He gets it, gives it to Brandoff on the sideline there and back to the middle. Brandoff again, touching the disc every 2 or 3 times. Forrester makes a dump cut, but Brandoff looks upfield, and another give and go for another 15 yards. And he'll put it in for a pretty safe and easy score there to 23. I think that's Sam Cochia. That's kind of back to those keys of the game. We were saying, big players like Brandoff can't be touching that disc every 2, every 3rd touch. The Breeze will really need to find a way to contain him. But the Breeze back on O. There's Feeney, who dumps it off to Skunk. And Skunk finds Biscuit upfield. Little handler cut. A double team in play here.
Phoenix are doing a good job of putting pressure on the handler as we see Biscuit get off a sketchy dump pass. Joe comes down with it with a great grab to maintain possession, then sits down after a little contact from the Philly defender. Joe takes the yards, gets it out to Biscuit. Biscuit looks upfield, finds Joe upline, who bobbles it a little bit but comes down with it. He's looking for, looks like Clarkson upline, who gives it right back to Joe, and who finds Feeney upfield, who's just outside the end zone. Feeney's going to look to swing, and a little miscue there. Throws it into the turf.
Bushik will pick up here for Philadelphia, and he finds an easy swing outside, and a big huck goes up. That's Hone, the big man. Looks like he had a hand on it, but could not bring it down. I think he measures in at about 6'5", so he's the big target downfield for the Phoenix.
Good pressure from Press to get that D. But the DC Breeze turn it right back over, and Philly's on the goal line. Got some great field position out of that huck.
And Bushik here with the disc threatening. Looked like he had to swing, but he finds an upline cutter to number 81, Matt Stavinga. And that'll put the Phoenix ahead.
Got a nice break there, and they get to come down on defense again against the DC Breeze O-line. Looks like Biscuit's going to pick up and send it to White Hat. White Hat going to go upfield to Evan Feeney. Evan Feeney working well out of that stack. Dumps it back to Biscuit, around to White Hat, who gives it to Joe. DC Breeze looking like they're getting some more flow here as Joe gives it to TJ Ryan, and TJ finds Liam. Liam pops it out to Biscuit. Biscuit with a big backhand upfield, floats a little high, and Philly comes down with it.
Looks like Brett Sawyer and Mike Reeves converged on that. They were maybe the shorter two in the pack, but both of them moving to the disc ended up bringing it in. Phoenix with the disc here. Finds Sam Esser under. Sam Esser looking. Stall count getting a little high, but he floats one into space. Finding his receiver, that's Steve McGurr. Steve McGurr goes to a swing and barely connects. Phoenix still with possession here, just looking upfield, not finding a whole lot.
On the other hand, they're moving it well across the field. Even if it's taking them a long time to do it, they're swinging wide. Moving up in fits and starts, getting chunks of yards at a time. DC Breeze got to put a little more pressure on these throwers as Phoenix throw it downfield right into the hands of Biscuit, who gets a good D. Moves it up to Liam. Liam to White Hat, who squeezes it downfield to TJ. TJ's looking upfield, finds Liam coming back to the disc. Liam controlling the offense pretty well, pairing up with White Hat, who moves it to Feeney. And Feeney puts a big lefty flick up there, floats it, but TJ Ryan with a big grab comes down the end zone to keep the offense going.
So it's interesting, too, now that these games are being played on football fields, you can really use those hash marks across it to divide the field into thirds to see what kind of space these offenses are using. And if you'll notice on that final possession, the Breeze went the whole distance without ever moving outside the two-thirds on the far side of the field. So they're really not getting those same kind of swings. We were saying the Phoenix, they're stalling here a little bit, using these big swings, but at least they're getting those vertical yards, and the Breeze did not on that point.
Horizontal yards, my friend. DC Breeze with a big layout attempt there to get a D, but Phoenix maintained possession, dump it out, and then look downfield.
Stavinga with the disc. He's looking. He finds Zach Thurston. A little bit of contact there. They're going to play through it.
You can see DC Breeze trying to put more pressure on these Philly handlers, but Philly works out of it, gets downfield, and puts a big huck towards the end zone.
Brandoff going to break side, and it looks like Forrester will bring that one in on a little spike.
Good pressure from Greg Esser on that huck, but Philly Phoenix are moving well out here, scoring with pretty good efficiency, and they're going to get their D-line right back out on the field.
And again, you see that critical player, Brandoff, there. The Phoenix working in the backfield, can't get it out. The second it gets to Brandoff, the huck goes up. So here's Liam and the DC Breeze O-line. He finds Press, swings outside to Biscuit. Biscuit looking upfield here, and finds a little upline cut by White Hat. And White Hat tries his luck with a huck. And Liam, with great positioning on that disc, manages to bring it down. Now he's right outside the end zone, knocking on the door. But double-teamed. Ooh, running out of time. He finds Joe, who brings down a very sketchy high release. Back to Feeney, and Feeney right away to TJ for a score.
It's a great job by Joe there to bring in that dump throw despite the pressure from the Philadelphia Phoenix defender. Joe DePaula is going to have a big day.
He looks like he's playing well here in the early going. And out of bounds on the pool there. The Phoenix to start with it up on the 30. Anderson comes under. And he's getting double teamed. A lot of early double teams here, even in the middle of the field, which we haven't seen as much in the AUDL this year. But nonetheless, they're getting them all parts of the field. Here's Zach Thurston with the disc. He goes to center it to Stavinga. Back to Thurston, back to Stavinga. The give and go that the Phoenix have showed here early. Now they're doing it with more players than just Brandoff. Stavinga and Thurston demonstrating it there. Lovely.
Very lovely. Now they're working around, getting that wide swing across the field. Very, very key for the Philadelphia Phoenix to move that disc around and spread the field so that the DC Breeze defenders are out of position downfield.
And it looks like we find Brandoff here on the sideline. And he goes shooting 20 yards up, finds Forrester, and then it looks like a hand block there by Wu for the Breeze.
Jake gets the swing right away and puts up a huge backhand trying to find Wu in the end zone, but does not connect. And Philadelphia Phoenix coming right back down the field.
I think there might have been a hand block on that one too. Some contact by the mark, some good mark that was put on there against Jake. So the Phoenix with the disc here, finding themselves on the sideline. It's Thurston. Thurston goes up line, and another up line. Intended target there, Brandoff, but it fell a little short.
A rare miscue for the Philadelphia Phoenix, and it looks like they got the disc back. Looks like the cameraman might have missed it, but they're working it back up the field with a little give and go. Kind of soft defense here from the Breeze as the Phoenix get close to the goal line. They swing it back around.
So here's Thurston in the middle. Oh, that was actually Stavinga, and past to layout, Wu finds Forrester in the end zone. So the Phoenix taking a pretty commanding lead right off the bat here. We missed a little footage there in the middle, but I think the score could be 7-3 right now in favor of the Phoenix. So that'll put the Breeze offense back on the line after another break. Here's Feeney with the disc. Feeney looks outside to Freddie. Oh, that was Joe DiPaolo. And he gives it to White Hat in the middle. White Hat lets off the huck. Finding TJ again. TJ, the recipient of almost every one of these early hucks. And he does his best to make it tricky there for Feeney, but Feeney brings it in and a handshake to end it.
TJ Ryan has been one of the biggest targets for the DC Breeze this season in the air since Wu was injured in an earlier game against the Philadelphia Phoenix. Wu back today for the first time since that injury. And the DC Breeze defense is going to try their best to slow down the Phoenix in this deep point.
And TJ also dealing with some lingering injuries. We've seen him out from time to time the last couple games with hamstring problems. But here are the Phoenix with the discs. Of course, we mentioned already they're dealing with some of their own injuries. Sam Esser back this game after missing 4, a very Wu-like story, both of them missing the last 4 or 5 games. And Matt Esser also out today. The Esser brothers, in fact, for the Phoenix, dealing with some injuries. Here's Brandoff with the disc. Ooh, he'll find a stumbling receiver. I think that was Hampson. Brandoff with the disc again right on the goal line. He's looking. A creative throw up line finds number 2. That's Kenny Wells.
And the Breeze just can't seem to slow down the Phoenix enough to keep them out of the end zone in this early part of the game here. And hopefully they can bring up the defensive pressure a little bit later on, but the O-line for the Breeze is back on the field. Looks like the Phoenix rolled the pull out of bounds and created some pressure with the double team on the sideline, but the DC Breeze worked it out, moved it upfield, just got it to Skunk. Skunk moves it out to Liam, who may have been out of bounds, but refs don't call it. He moves it back to Biscuit. Biscuit looking around for a swing, puts it out wide to Skunk. Skunk with a backhand to Feeney, and Feeney with the lefty backhand to Liam for the goal.
So very unlike that last point I was talking about. That time, the Phoenix used the entire width of the field, or the Breeze used the entire width of the field, and you saw them, maybe cover twice as much ground, but it kept that flow going. No one had the disc longer than 5 seconds, and it really just moved that offense downfield.
Looks like we're nearing the end of the quarter here as White Hat pulls for the DC Breeze. He's got a big backhand, puts it out there, and the Phoenix are trying to score quickly here.
And again, that keys to the game. I mean, the Phoenix are up here pretty big in this first quarter. We've seen a lot of breaks, but if they can, put one more in here, it's really icing on the cake, and that, could be the difference makers down the line. If, as we know, this is a game of streaks and momentum and that sort of thing. So here's Thurston back in the middle with the disc. He's looking upfield, and he finds for a lot of yardage there Forrester. And Forrester to Brandoff. Those 3 connecting a lot here in the early game, and a big hammer by Brandoff finds his receiver as K-Dubs, Kenny Wells, for the 2nd point in a row, past a laying out
Eric Clarkson. Just not quite close enough to put pressure on that throw. The Phoenix are really rolling here. Not a whole lot to say about that as we take a look at them slapping the hands on the sideline.
So a big pull goes off there by the Phoenix. There's about 6 seconds to play in the quarter here. We see Biscuit get the disc, put it to White Hat right away, and a big huck goes off. There goes the buzzer. It's down to a pack of Phoenix who easily knocked down that disc. It looks like the score will remain 7-5 here, and I think we're even going to get to see the scoreboard. There we are, 7-5 in favor of the Phoenix at the end of the first quarter.
The game has gone pretty much as we've expected so far, with the Phoenix moving well with their main guys, David Brandoff, Kenny Wells, Zach Thurston, and DC Breeze coming out here back on offense. White Hat kicks it out to Joe DePaula. Joe looking downfield. Must be covered well, but he puts it up anyway, just out of reach of the DC Breeze cutter.
So it'll be the Philadelphia D-line seeing if they can get a quick break here. It's Bushik with the disc. He finds Stavinga, and Stavinga looks downfield. Looks like a great layout D there by Joe DePaula. White Hat will pick up the disc. Philly will get a second chance, or DC will get a second chance at this.
After coming down with a couple big throws in traffic, Joe DePaula has a great layout D to get the possession back for the DC Breeze, but then bobbles it there and loses it. And a little bit of confusion here with the cameraman, but the Philadelphia Phoenix are dumping it back, looking to swing around. Can't quite do it with the double team around them. Biscuit trying to recover. They do get it around, swing it all the way across the field. Good catch there by the Phoenix.
And that was, I think that was Merch in the back. Oh, no, that's Kenny Wells in the backfield. That's a rare place to find Kenny Wells.
White Hat with one of his signature poach Ds, puts it right up to the end zone, but can't find press. Good coverage there by the Phoenix.
And there goes Kenny Wells from the backfield all the way downfield to get the D. So Zach Thurston picks up here, a little bit of jerkiness there with the cameraman, but I don't think we missed anything crucial. Here are the Phoenix on offense. Oh, I think they're actually maybe even a timeout there, because now there's some O-line players on the field. Here's Brandoff.
Joe couldn't quite get the D on that one. He's still in playing defense. And the DC Breeze looking a little loose here as the Phoenix work it up. Looking downfield.
So a little bit of a different look here. As I mentioned, K-Dubs in the backfield coming back to help those handlers out. That looked like a little bit of a floaty disc there, handle error, but Press comes in and takes it away. So now it'll be the Breeze disc. It looks like Danny Denon on the field. Danny Denon finds...
That was Freddie Perlman, who puts a nice flick out to a wide open Joe DePaula, who scores to get the DC Breeze back in it. And we're going to get the DC Breeze D-line out there, see if we can start generating some turnovers.
Yeah, I don't know if there was even a second timeout in there that we missed, because then we saw, or maybe it was that very first timeout, because we saw Brandoff, I think, came off the bench there for the Phoenix at a point, so either an injury or a timeout, and then that was quickly followed by some more of the D-line players, the Danny Denons of the world, were out there for the Breeze. So maybe some D-line players for the Breeze came out, some O-line players for the Phoenix came out. We're going to see a little Phoenix offense here, and they're back with the disc. Pivoting, finds Brandoff under. And Brandoff lets off the huck. It will not find, it looks like Sam Esser there.
Burke Nash with a great D on a huck that comes up from Brandoff, as it usually does. And the DC Breeze offense getting to work here. Glenpool gets it up line and puts up a huck that floats way too much and is knocked down by the Phoenix.
And when and that's Hone in the mix there. Again, that big man. It's hard to find a target in that crowd. So getting physical on D there, the Breeze are.
Glenpool stops the huck. The Phoenix dump and swing it around, but can't find that connection on the swing. DC Breeze will get a chance again. Freddie Perlman goes to Wu. Wu dumps it back off to Poole. Poole out wide to Greg Esser. Greg back to Glenn. Glenn looks to swing around, but finds Perlman up the line instead. Perlman throws the hammer all the way across the field to Matt Coe. Coe gets it to Burke. Burke back to Poole. Poole back to Burke. And a little bit of flow here from the DC Breeze. They're using their swings a little bit more effectively here. Poole goes inside, breaks the mark to Bill Barnes, who gets it out to Freddie. Freddie looking upfield and puts a big bladey flick out to Greg Esser, who comes in for an excellent DC Breeze point.
And so we saw a lot of passes in that point, probably more than we've seen any point this game from without a turn in possession. So both high accolades for the Phoenix for slowing the Breeze down on the way to the field, but the Breeze, despite throwing all those passes, still maintain possession and get the score. White Hat back to Poole.
Good patience from that DC Breeze offense. Now they're going to try to keep it rolling here as the Phoenix come back up the field.
And we see Brandoff looks like he's dropped back and actually handling this point. First we've seen him do that all game. We've seen some of the cutting, but... And a big huck finds Mike Reeves in the end zone, and that wasn't too hard. The Breeze defense unable to do what the Phoenix defense just did there, unable to make the Phoenix throw a lot of passes. Looks like some unique victory celebrations there going on. Biscuit and White Hat, Joe DePaula all back for the Breeze, and they get it in that same order. Joe looks under, he finds Liam. Liam looking outside, but decides on a swing to White Hat. Oh, and maybe a little bit of contact on the mark there, but a throwaway by White Hat.
Phoenix get great field position here right outside the end zone.
And Bushik with the disc. And he throws a big bladey pass, finds Brett there for the score. And that made it look easy.
Although we all know that those big bladey forehands are a little bit difficult to pinpoint receivers. DC Breeze offense back on the field. White Hat gets it back, finds a covered receiver downfield who gets layout D'd. And the Phoenix go right away to the end zone right after the turn. Looks like
Bushik takes that disc right away and gets another assist. Back-to-back assist for Bushik. Hone, the receiver there. And a little celebration again. The Phoenix pulling into the lead here with a couple breaks in a row.
And they pull it out of bounds again, right on the sideline. White Hat trapped in the double team, puts up a big hammer into a crowd of guys. They can't seem to keep it in their possession. And Philly's going right down the field, fast breaking after that turnover.
Is Bushik going to get 3 assists in a row? No, he overthrows his receiver there. It looks like that was Harity laying out, can't bring it in. So White Hat with the disc, he's going to jog it up to the front of the line and start off. It looks like it's a double team, but over the top he finds Feeney. Back outside it's White Hat again. And, tries to find, it looks like Freddie, but might have been Brett there with a layout D.
Looks like they didn't take that swing seriously, might have gotten layout D out of laziness. And the Philadelphia Phoenix, again with great field position. And this time, Philadelphia Phoenix with one of the signature plays they're known for.
A big layout there by Murch on the pass by Bushik. That's 3 assists in a row. NBA Jam rules might apply. I think he's on fire. A timeout is called after the 3 of them. It looks like the Breeze are going to try to huddle up here and figure out what's going on.
They're going to try to play a little bit more in the game rather than letting themselves get layout D'd or run through D'd, as we saw on that last point. Philadelphia Phoenix bringing great pressure here on the DC Breeze.
And whereas I don't know all the camera work here wins the highest accolades, I will say that that cool American flag blowing in the foreground there was high marks for cinematography. So here start the Breeze. Now they're on offense. Feeney finds a laying out Liam. And Liam to DePaula up line. DePaula, big break side flick. It's to Wu, who brings it in. He beats number 25. That's Brett Sawyer, a little bit distant from his man on the break side, which, that's kind of how you mark someone. So great put there.
Wu again, one of the big deep threats for the DC Breeze. Glad to see him back on the field after his few weeks of injury. Some contact from the DC Breeze defender. Looks like Danny Denon on the Phoenix thrower.
And the Phoenix go right away to another big huck, and they find their man. It's K-Dubs back out there again, and he's going to score, and he's going to play volleyball with the Frisbee.
Very nice spike there from the Phoenix. They're really rolling and excited about it.
So it has not relented here in the first half. The Phoenix putting up points in the bunches, and I think that takes their lead up to 5. Skunk and White Hat here in the middle with one fake, and then he finds Liam under. Liam getting that first pass a lot of times today out of the stack, really getting the flow started. Here's Skunk on the sideline. Skunk looks back into Joe. Joe will look upfield. He'll find Liam again. And Liam's going to take his shot, but it is out the back of the end zone. Can't find intended receiver Evan Feeney. Bushik here with the disc as the Phoenix get a little chance on offense. He'll swing it in to Stavinga. Stavinga goes all the way outside. Looks upfield to Hone, and Hone is going to take a rare shot. And maybe that's why they're so rare. That one doesn't come back in.
It's all in good fun here, folks. Just a little bit of heckling from your friendly commentators. And looks like the DC Breeze just pulled it again. And not really sure what the cameraman missed, but Phoenix are moving it very quickly upfield with their give and goes as they are wont to do. Little contact there from the mark to slow things down, but they still work it up. Brandoff gets the disc and then puts it up wide to the back of the end zone with a well-placed flick to K-Dubs, who spikes it, and the Phoenix just keep playing very strong offense.
And so we mentioned again back to those keys of the game to contain those big players for the Phoenix. And K-Dub's really not getting contained here. He scored 4 or 5 so far. And then Bushik, who's thrown 3 or 4, maybe not one of the players that were most sought after to contain, but with the game he's playing today in the second half here, the Breeze will need to contain him. And here he starts with the disc and a double team.
Looks like the DC Breeze thrower got stalled out. And great field position for the Phoenix after that stall. They are working it up bit by bit, showing some patience on the goal line, working it past the double team a couple times here as the DC Breeze are trying to find their men.
So here's Bushik back with the disc, a little bit of a reset. Good place to be in here for the Phoenix, but the Breeze are making them throw quite a few in a row. There's Brett, finds Stavinga.
Biscuit doing an interesting job trying to act like he was not fouling the thrower, but the ref calls it, gets him up to the goal line, and good pressure from John Pressamone gets them the disc.
That pressure, of course, on the intended receiver there, Hone. Looks like this is a timeout or some more missed footage. I think it's a timeout.
In fact, I believe the Philadelphia Phoenix called a timeout right before that turnover, so they're going to get the disc back. We'll see some DC Breeze players coming in on D, but they're not able to stop once again.
Yeah, one of the best timed timeouts that I've seen this season that saved a turnover there. Does the coach get credit for that?
Coach gets a little credit, but certainly also Brandoff, who was there with the score. DC Breeze offense working it up the field. Joe dumps it to White Hat. No, that was Freddie dumps it to White Hat. White Hat Y with a little bit of a blade backhand to Feeney. Feeney up to Biscuit. And Biscuit rips a backhand. And Joe DePaula getting big over the receiver. Oh, I'm sorry, over to the defender who thought he might have had possession first, but ref calls it for Joe. Joe with his nice lefty backhand to Freddie for the goal. Joe having a great day.
Joe having a great day. A real 50-50 disc there where that put was by Biscuit. Great job by Joe DePaul to go get it.
Especially above the larger defender. And the DC Breeze on defense going to try to slow down the Phoenix once again.
So here's Zach Thurston back playing that apex handler like he's done all day. There's Forrester with the first cut and to Brandoff. Brandoff looking upfield, finds Hone. Hone to Brandoff. Brandoff now back as that handler, finds, it looks like Forrester under, and then he goes to make the cut.
Clock's winding down here in the second quarter as the Phoenix swing it around. And they put the hammer up towards the end zone, but are not able to come down with it as we hear the horn signal that time has expired in the first half.
All right, so it's the end of another quarter here, the end of the first half. Phoenix taking a commanding lead here. It's 14-10.
So the DC Breeze have struggled here in the first half to shut down the key players for the Philadelphia Phoenix. Brandoff especially showing his prowess as he's thrown a couple goals and worked it up the field very effectively on give and goes with the rest of his teammates. A couple other players also doing well for the Phoenix.
Our guys like Zach Thurston, who's dropping back playing that center handler here. You can see him playing that center handler as the third quarter starts. Kenny Wells, K-Dubs, is scoring a lot of points, and that's been a theme all season for the Phoenix. If the Breeze can shut down those guys here in this third quarter, we're talking business. But there, Kenny Wells scores the first one right off the bat.
With a throw from, you guessed it, Zach Thurston.
Maybe it was Brandoff with the throw there, but either way, the three players that touch the disc were the three players we just mentioned at halftime. So the Breeze have their work cut out for them.
As we see Joe DePaula pick up center to Whitehat, who goes deep right away downfield, trying to find Liam, who is not able to take position, and a great D there from the Phoenix.
Yeah, Mike Reeves over top there. That was a great play. Really got up, really got out. Indeed it.
But the ref seems to have called a foul on Reeves, and Liam's going to get it centered on the goal line. Yep. That's how it goes when you got refs. And Liam finds Biscuit coming up line with a play a little bit reminiscent of the New York Empire. Nice goal there from the Breeze after a big huck that was a little bit difficult for them to bring down. Coming out on defense, Philadelphia Phoenix.
So here are the Philadelphia Phoenix with the disc. It's Thurston looks outside, finds K-Dub under. K-Dubs dumping it off to Stavinga. Stavinga looking downfield, and a real physical mark there by Burke of the Breeze. It's going to give him 10 yards.
Breeze trying to put some pressure on the handlers finally, but Philadelphia Phoenix with a nice break and go right downfield with another inside-out break to Brandolph. Sound like a broken record here. Your commentators are a little bit frustrated, as I'm sure the DC Breeze are. Coming out on offense again. Biscuit centers to Whitehat. Whitehat looks downfield. Big pump fake. Finds Feeney underneath, who kicks it out to Joe DePaula, finding Liam upfield in his colorful orange hat. Back to Joe DePaula. Upfield to Whitehat. Looked like the Philadelphia Phoenix defender got a hand on it. Whitehat with a great save, but then puts up a interesting throw. Looked like a thumber to me. Cleaned up by the Phoenix. Or another call by the ref, and Feeney maintains possession, gets it out to Whitehat. Back to Feeney for the goal.
Well, the refs really playing a crucial role in both of the Breeze's last O points there. Certainly they might have been fouls, but a lot of those things are going uncalled. So really, really interesting to see the refs, being the difference maker here early in this third quarter. 2 points apiece for both of the offenses here in the second half. Thurston will pick up. Looks like Matt Coe going to mark him here. And he swings outside.
To Nick on Palco, covered by Glenn Poole. Gets it back to Thurston. Coe with a nice physical mark. Well, don't know how nice it was, but the throw, nice. Certainly a hammer over the top to Anderson, who gets it to Brandoff, who swings it out to Sawyer. Sawyer gets it across the field, and the Phoenix, with some swings, move it right down the field to number 12.
And that's Anderson again with the score. So just like he did in the early game there, that's Sean Anderson really asserting himself on offense. So here the Breeze get another shot. Whitehat to Feeney to Wu. Outside to DePaulo. Finds himself on the line. He's going to swing it to Whitehat. Whitehat looks upfield to Biscuit.
Biscuit with a big pump fake. Looks around. Can't find Whitehat. Gets it to Joe instead. Joe looking downfield. Back to Biscuit. Biscuit swings it wide. Gets it around the defender for a big swing out to Liam. Also past the referee. Liam gets it downfield to Press. Press looking. Gets it back to Whitehat. Whitehat swings wide again to Liam, who's really working his defender. A little bit of pressure there from the Phoenix D-line. Out to Press. Dumps it to Biscuit. Biscuit finds Feeney. Feeney looking upline to Biscuit. Turnover. Not quite into the breadbasket for Biscuit. Biscuit's going to put a mark on the Phoenix thrower, who turns it over right back, giving the Breeze good field position, and Whitehat throws the around flick to Feeney.
The Phoenix really made the Breeze throw a lot of passes there. There were a lot of really close to straight-up marks, really preventing the flow downfield. To be fair, the Breeze responded well by swinging the disc a lot and finding the open space, taking what they were given. But at the same time, a lot of throws, results in a lot of turnovers a lot of times. Here's Thurston with the disc now for the Phoenix on offense.
Again marked by Ko. Skunk on Nick on Palco, who gets the disc and then rips a backhand to the end zone, but it falls a little short. Danny Denham with the D gets it out to Clarkson, and Clarkson floats it way over Danny's head, right back to the Phoenix. Again, great field position, and they put it over Clarkson's head and score to Brandolph, who's having a great game. Both as a handler and as a cutter, working out of the front of the stack, getting the disc a lot. And Philadelphia Phoenix back playing defense on the DC Breeze O-line. Biscuit with a big pump fake, makes the defender look, dumps it back to White Hat, who finds Isaac upfield. Isaac puts out a flick to Wu, who bobbles it a little bit, but catches it in the end zone, and then with a casual spike, turns toward the referee to find that they have called his catch a turnover. Philadelphia Phoenix, the benefit of a ref's call here, rip a backhand, get it all the way out with a great huck, great bid, but
great layout there by Sam Esser. It was a Bushwick huck, but it can't be brought in. The Breeze will get another chance here, and it's Feeney with the disc. He swings to Joe, and Joe under to Wu. Wu finds Isaac with an undercut.
Isaac really wanted to throw that flick huck again, but shows some restraint, gets it back to Joe. Joe swings to White Hat, who gets it around to Press, and Press with a nice backhand to Wu downfield, a little bit of a break there, who kicks it out to Joe. Joe looking downfield, threatening, finds White Hat up line. White Hat getting close to the end zone, gets Press on an underneath cut. Another call from the ref. Looks like some contact. Press is going to get it on the goal line, centered. Again, White Hat as the dump, who hits right away. And not sure how it happened, but we get it to Joe DePaula, who scores to bring it back within 4. DC Breeze 14 to the Philadelphia Phoenix 18. And DC Breeze back on defense.
Yeah, it was interesting there. Saul kind of, as they got closer to the end zone, as the Breeze got closer to the end zone, some of the Philadelphia marks were a little bit lazier, a little bit more physical, some leaning on, and one resulted in getting called. It got the big center there for the Breeze. So Breeze get a quick turnover, and it's Glenn and Danny Denon, Glenn and Clarkson actually, playing some give and go there. Glenn looks upfield. He finds Danny Denon this time. Danny Denon lets off the huck and finds Bill Barnes. That'll bring it within 3. That's a quick, nice break there by the DC Breeze defense.
Initiated by the D from Glenn Poole on one of the off-handlers coming out to pick off the thrower, not seeing the defender. And DC Breeze bring a little bit of pressure as the Phoenix swing out, stagnate a little bit, and then find Brandolph downfield. Brandolph throws through some contact.
And it's the Phoenix here still with the disc. Brandolph lets off the big fly. Oh, but he overthrows what looks like it was Ryan Forrester there. Now it's Freddie and the Breeze starting off with the disc.
Bill Barnes with good position on that defense. Glenn Poole tries to find Danny Denna downfield, who gets run through Deed. And the Phoenix, again with great field position, dump it around.
And that looks like it was Paco with the disc. Finds Thurston under, swings outside to John Stavinga. And John Stavinga can't connect with Brandolph there in the end zone. Was that Brandolph, number 13? That was.
A little bit of a tight throw there with the inside-out flick. DC Breeze are going to get the disc back on offense. Looks like they called a timeout to get some of their O-line guys out there to put this break in. We see White Hat Joe, Biscuit, and they swing it around. Biscuit's got it, puts up a big huck out to Isaac, who's going to have to lay out, and does. Brings it in right on the goal line after this timeout. Looking A lot of pressure from the Philadelphia Phoenix, and Isaac has to call another timeout. Second right in a row. Both timeouts in the half called at the same time. Whitehat checks it in, throws a scuba to press for the goal. Very professional throw there from our friend Whitehat. And the DC Breeze bring it within 2, 16-18, with only 3 minutes left in the quarter.
A little bit of desperation there by the Breeze, calling both of their timeouts in the same play, really putting a lot of pressure on that 1 point here earlier, midway through the third quarter. We'll see if that comes back to bite them at the end, now that they're out of timeouts. So here are the Phoenix on offense, and it looks like that's K-Dubs dumps the disc to Thurston. It's Liam with a big run through D there. Now the Breeze on offense. It looks like it's Ko finds Condor, and Condor to laying out Liam. That'll score. That'll be a 1 point game, ladies and gentlemen.
With an excellent run through D there by Liam, who then scores to get himself a pair of bookends. And DC Breeze are really rolling on defense. Let's see if they can keep up that momentum. Just like Greg was saying, it's a game of runs, and the Philadelphia Phoenix call a timeout to try to stop this one by the DC Breeze. We're really excited. Slapping hands this time themselves. They'll come out here on defense and try to keep pressuring the Phoenix.
They should be happy with the 3 breaks, but they're not there yet. They're going to need 1 more even here to tie it and 2 more to take the lead. So it's the Phoenix, and they're on offense. And a run through D by Glenn Poole is going to put the Breeze right back in the driver's seat. He finds Freddie in the middle. Freddie looking upfield, and he'll take his first choice, which is Liam. Real physical D there by Mike Reeves from behind. Kudos to Liam for running it all the way through there, and he'll also draw a foul and get an extra 10 yards out of it. Discus tap back in, and he'll find Danny Denham outside. Danny Denham with the forehand he loves so much, and Burke will score right on the front end of that end zone, and that's a tie game.
DC Breeze doing a great job to create pressure and also fast breaking, preventing the Philadelphia Phoenix from slowing them down as they have been doing so well all game to the DC Breeze O-line. 18-18 here in the third quarter. Phoenix back on offense.
And here come the Phoenix with a tie game. It's the pressure's on finally. Looks like Whitey puts off the big huck there, but overthrows Mike Reeves. Breeze will get possession of the disc. It's Jake on the sideline. He's double-teamed. He'll go to the overhead, find a hammer over top to Greg Esser. Greg Esser to Glenn. Glenn looking dump. It's to Condor. Condor back to Glenn.
Glenn swings it around to Whitehat, who continues across the field with a high flick that it just barely falls out of Greg Esser's hands. Philadelphia Phoenix with a reprieve here. Inside-out flick that floats kind of high, and Greg Esser gets it right back with a huge sky to maintain possession. A lot of contact there. No call from the ref. And then DC Breeze find Greg back at the end zone to go up by 1. He gets himself bookends, and the DC Breeze rolling on defense. 5 breaks in a row. Really changing the momentum here in the third quarter.
Yeah, the second half of the third quarter has been real exciting for the Breeze, maybe not so much for the Phoenix. We'll see with one last offensive possession here if they can tie the game going into the fourth. They've got the disc back in the center, and they're looking to swing. The clock is quickly expiring, and here goes the huck, but it is blades quickly and goes out of bounds. That'll be the end of the third quarter. The Breeze have done the improbable here and brought it back to be a game where they are up by 1. All right, so here begins the fourth quarter, and the Breeze have their first lead of the game. We'll see if another 12 minutes can show them defending it or if it will slip away.
They've had trouble holding on to leads in the fourth quarter in a number of games this season, including against the Phoenix twice before. And the Phoenix, you can tell, are getting excited for this fourth quarter. They know that the Breeze have had trouble putting games away and are getting excited about their opportunity to take it back from the Breeze as we get started with the DC Breeze O-line coming out in the field. Looks like the pole is out of bounds. Biscuit starts it out near half field, gets it up to Wu, who looks around and finds John Pressimone downfield, who puts out a big flick to Feeney right in the end zone, and he doesn't come up with it. Philadelphia Phoenix with a big chance here to tie it up with a break.
Yeah, seeing the third quarter end as it did on the possession was a real big opportunity for the Breeze to start out on offense. But now, although the field positioning isn't great for the Phoenix, they had a shot, but they throw it away a little high there. Wu brings it in. Here's Whitehat. He dumps it off to Biscuit. Biscuit looking, see if he can take advantage of this. And he gives it to Whitehat. Whitehat outside to Wu, and they score it nonetheless. That'll run their lead to 2. That's double what it was, of course, and that's the most it's been all game.
DC Breeze getting excited here. Even with that little bit of a miscue, still up by 2, coming out on defense, putting pressure on the Philadelphia Phoenix, who swing it around and go right towards the end zone. Covered receiver, Stavinga isn't able to come up with it. Danny Denon finally pulls it down. He's double teamed right on the sideline, flips it out to Clarkson, and Clarkson goes back to Danny, trapped on the sideline. Danny tries to step through this double team and flick it around to Glenn Poole, but isn't able to get it to him because Whitey comes up with the D, swings it around. Phoenix looking downfield. Good field position, a little bit of a bobbled catch there. Stays with it.
And that's Zach Thurston that sticks with that disc. He's going to draw a foul. He's going to get 10 extra yards, and he's going to look to swing. Oh, and a little bit of a miscue there. Second one in a row where Anderson was the intended target, and he can't bring in either. But the Phoenix will turn it again, the Breeze will turn it again, giving the Phoenix some great field position, and it's Brandoff with the disc. He puts up a big floaty forehand that finds Stavinga for the score.
Brandoff there with a big pump fake, looked a little bit like Biscuits, over the shoulder forehand fake. Now the DC Breeze offense coming back. Whitehat swings it out to Joe, who gets it downfield to Isaac. Isaac looks to get it upfield to Wu. Wu squeezes it to Joe. Joe's looking for a swing here. Doesn't want to get hung out to dry by his other handlers. Whitehat gets it, tries to swing it to Biscuit, but Biscuit misread what Whitehat was doing, but luckily Evan Feeney comes and cleans it up, gives it back to Whitehat, who finds Biscuit again upfield. Throws it to Wu. Wu puts a nice, easy forehand out to Biscuit, who bobbles it and isn't able to come up with it. That's 2 drops in that corner of the end zone by the Breeze in the last 2 points. And the Philadelphia Phoenix with a chance to get back in this game. But they throw it too high, and Isaac comes down with the D, moves it up to Press. Press with a flick right away to the end zone, right over Feeney's head. And DC Breeze struggling on offense to put this in here.
Yeah, a lot of turns early in this fourth quarter here, and yet another one. The Breeze with a little chance for redemption here. It's Wu and Biscuit, give and go, but Whitehat can't find Joe DePaula in the middle, and a big huck goes off right away by the Phoenix doing the transition offense that they know so well. It's a hotly contested disc in the end zone that Steve McGurr will bring down. Oh, no. Did Joe get the D? No, he brought it down. Joe DePaula unable to get the D there. 7 minutes and 8 seconds remain.
And the Philadelphia Phoenix tie it up with that score. Joe DePaula not able to get over his matchup that time, even though he's done it a couple times in this game today against taller defenders. And the Phoenix pull it, roll it out of bounds. DC Breeze work it to the double team, though, get it up to Feeney, who's having some trouble, and he gets hand blocked by that double team. Very difficult on that sideline. Philadelphia Phoenix try to move it away from that sideline, go upfield.
And there's Hampson in the backfield with the disc. He gives it to Thurston. Thurston looking, but decides on a safer dump. It's Merchant him now back, give and go. Thurston again. He's looking upfield. And looks like Stavinga with the disc now.
DC Breeze get a bid on it, but trying to create some pressure here, but Philadelphia Phoenix remaining patient here in the red zone. They hammered over the top. Liam tries to jump on it, can't quite get there.
And that was a Murch hammer to Hone, and now it's back outside to Murch. Murch looks nice and easy up the sideline. And I think that was Harity maybe that threw that one away. Tough one there on a pretty good look.
A lot of turnovers on that goal line. Now Glenn Poole beats the double team, gets it upfield to Feeney, who throws it further to Wu. Wu finds both Feeney and Liam. Liam's the one that catches it, swings it out to Joe. Now the DC Breeze O-line is working it up against a tired-looking Philadelphia defense. Joe dumps it back to Glenn. Glenn around to White Hat, losing some yards, but trying to get across the field. White Hat back to Poole. Some contact on the mark there, and Glenn tries to find a receiver upfield. Stall count was getting high, and he underthrows Joe.
Looks like that stack was pretty far back, as the only receiver in the picture was Joe DePaula, and he was tightly marked underneath. Here the Phoenix go, some quick transition defense, stringing 3-4 passes together very rapidly. They're poised on the end zone line, and it's I think that's Steve McGurr with the disc. And to Rob Allen. Rob Allen in the end zone with a massive layout, and that's going to put the Phoenix up by 1. They are excited.
That's an important score there. Philadelphia Phoenix doing well to stay in this game, maintaining their composure despite the clock winding down on this game. DC Breeze back out on offense. Biscuit goes upfield to Danny Denon, who bobbles it but comes down, and then tries to break it with a backhand inside out, and
huge Sam Esser layout there for the block, and that's going to give the Phoenix a chance to go up by 2 as only 5 minutes remain in the game.
Kevin Connolly with some good defense on the dump.
And Sam Esser puts it to Bushik on the sideline there. Bushik, instead of looking swing, goes up the sideline. A little bit of a jam, does not find his receiver. And now it'll be Breeze disc, Kevin Conley to pick up. Looking up the sideline, finds Freddie. And Freddie lays out to keep possession.
Let us not forget that great defensive bid by Burke Nash to get the DC Breeze that disc. Freddie dumps it back to Kevin. Kevin looking upfield. A high one, can't quite connect with Danny Denon. And Philadelphia Phoenix go right up line.
And the same way we saw just moments ago was Bushik running up the line, and he'll throw that up line pass again, this time to Mike Reeves, and it will connect. The Phoenix now up by 2. That Breeze lead looking like a thing of the past.
DC Breeze trying to get each other up on the sideline. Jake inspiring his teammates as the O-line comes back on the field. Another roller pull out of bounds, and White Hat is going to be trapped on the sideline behind a double team. Gets it off to Liam, though. DC Breeze doing a good job getting past that double team today. Liam finds Feeney upfield, who looks around for the dump. Squeezes one around to Joe DePaula, who breaks it further to Skunk, and Skunk puts it up really high. Liam is not able to come down with it in the end zone.
It was a great job there by Zach Thurston in the backfield to take away that around, forced him back inside, forced the Breeze back inside to Skunk, who had to put up that pool. Zach Thurston with the disc puts up a big hammer over the top. Looks like he found Rob Allen there. Now on the sideline, it's Rob Allen and Rob Allen. I don't know what that was. The give and go tuckered out quickly, and they couldn't maintain possession. Now it's Liam with the disc for the Breeze. He'll put it upfield and find Skunk.
Skunk with an open man in the end zone, but doesn't want to throw the same pass that he just turned over. Now finds Joe DePaula on a dump cut. Joe does put it up and finds a very excited Clarkson for the goal to bring it back within 1. We'll note again that the White Hat was able to beat that Philadelphia Phoenix double team. Breeze doing a good job of moving the disc around those players or through, and with only 2 minutes left in the game, Breeze down by 1 despite starting the fourth quarter with a 2-point lead.
Well, I'll say this, when the Phoenix are putting that double team on a handler like White Hat, it seems to be broken pretty easily, but when they maintain the double team downfield like we saw to Feeney a moment ago, they still are able to get a lot of those Ds. When they're putting it on the cutter, they're having some success. Throwaway early in the count there will give the Breeze possession of the disc. It's Coe to Burke, and it looks like a throwaway there. Might have gotten some hand on it by the defender.
Looks like it just slipped out of Jake's hands, and Philadelphia Phoenix with a chance to score on offense. despite the pressure from the Breeze. Kevin Connolly marking and forces it around. Philly goes wide to Whitey, covered by Glenn Poole. They're trying to slow down, some contact on the mark there, but Whitey's able to squeeze it inside to...
I think that was Thurston. Puts up a big one, and I think that's Ken Wells. A little blurry here, but Ken Wells having another big score. He was scoring quickly, and yeah, it is Ken Wells. Early in the game, he was scoring a bunch, and he's back at it again now.
Even in the traffic. DC Breeze with only a short amount of time left in the game. Joe swings it out to White Hat, who finds press downfield. They really got to score quickly here so they can get their D-line back out. And Feeney looks like the defender got a hand on it. Phoenix disc now in the double team. Press and Joe trying to stop them and get this disc back quickly. But the Phoenix step through, find their receiver downfield, who steps through another double team to get it around. And they're going to wind the clock out. Only a couple seconds left in the game. Up by 2. And they dump it back around, maintaining possession here. They're going to let it slowly expire. Turnover by the Philadelphia Phoenix, but the game is over. Too little, too late from the Breeze. Refs will put a few more seconds on the clock, but it's not enough for Press to find a good huck, and that's the game.
Yeah, it was a couple last seconds the refs put on the clock there, but it is to no avail. 23-21 in favor of the Philadelphia Phoenix. Again, my name is Greg.
And this is Glenn.
And very sorry for any names we may have butchered today, but doing what we can here to get some video up on the internet. Enjoy. You can head to Facebook and check out the DC Breeze and the Philadelphia Phoenix. Be sure to like them there. They both also have Twitter feeds. In other news, the consequences of this game today put the Philadelphia Phoenix in the playoffs, where they will play the New York Empire in 2 short weeks.
Thanks for watching.